2021 financial year has been a year which most of us would remember in our lives. We had certain ideas about how the year would go, but I'm sure nobody could have planned for a year like this. So here we are. We are at the fag end of the year 2021. So what have we seen? We have seen that when the pandemic was on, somebody may have to go on mute. Yeah, thank you. So when the pandemic started, we had no idea. First, we thought it was a 14-day affair. Then we thought it's a month-long affair. We never knew where we were leading towards. And here we are staring at the end of the financial year, and now things look to be normal. So our review has been Indian entrepreneurs have been very resilient lot. When the things were not correct, at least till June, our internal assessment as finance people were that a lot of businesses would die because we had seen that a lot of our clients were getting a lot of high cost in terms of team size, salaries, rent. But what we have found is by the time we did a review in December and Jan, the resilience actually helped. People have changed their business model. People have cut their costs ruthlessly. And if you look at the financials right now, they aren't as bad as we had thought they would be. In fact, a lot of businesses are still in profit. In fact, some of the businesses have become so nice and lean. There was so much flab that got added into the business because we had been doing business for years in a certain manner with certain costs, which we thought was unavoidable. But what the pandemic taught to us was, there was a lot of flab in our business, and all those flab got cut, and now it's nice and lean businesses and raring to go. So now, when we are in the end of Feb and we are looking at our new financial year 21-22, it's important that we plan our year. Why should we be planning? Okay, so most important question is, do we actually need a business plan? So because there is a myth in the market or with people, especially entrepreneurs, that business plan is required for people like startups who want to raise funds. The people say कि हमको business plan लेके क्या करना है? Business plan तो investor को दिखाने के लिए होता है. So why do we need a business plan? So I asked them a very simple question. मैं उनको बोलता हूँ कि most of you all have gone into vacations, right? Some of you all would have traveled abroad. Some of you would have traveled in India. And when we go out and travel, हमको पता है कि मैं 20 तारीख को जाने वाला हूँ और 29th को I'll be back into Bombay. So my plan is that once I go on the 20th, where will I stay? On the 21st, what all is the sightseeing I want to do? What all places I want to visit? What all food I want to eat? What is the itinerary that I want to take? Which is the car I'll be booking? What time do I start in the morning? So that is planned so well. So that's what we are taking vacations for 8 to 9 days in a year, and we plan it so well. But we all are doing business for years. We started off business maybe a decade ago or maybe a lot of years ago. But we don't want to plan that. So we are taking each day as it comes. So most of the entrepreneurs that we know, especially in the small and medium enterprise, they get up in the morning and they have to go to office because that's what the routine has been for them. They go to the office, दिन भर काम करते हैं, शाम को वापस आ जाते हैं. They go to the office, they look at what is the priority right now, what is the firefighting area, they would work on that and then come back. So they generally are on a day-to-day basis working in their organization. They are not able to look at their organization from a 30,000 point of feet level and see where my business is going. They are not able to plan. And the only bad thing or good thing about not being able to plan is wherever you go, if you are not planned, is either the right place or the wrong place. क्योंकि मुझे पता ही नहीं मुझे जाना कहाँ है, तो मैं जहाँ भी गया हूँ शायद वो मेरे लिए सही रास्ता है और शायद वो मेरे लिए गलत रास्ता है. So that is the being fortunate or unfortunate about not having a plan. So I certainly feel that it's very important that you should have a business plan, because most of the people on this call or people whom we meet are business owners. And if as a business owner, you don't have your plan correctly in your mind, it is very difficult for you to lead a business. So let's first get into the why of a business plan. Why is it that we would require a business plan? Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. So business plan is a financial visualization of your idea. So, we have business. So today when I am talking about business plan, I am not talking about the formal business plan document that we prepare, which talks about the industry, which talks about us, which talks about the promoter, which talks about other things. That is the general business plan which we would actually want to either go in for an IPO or raise funds from an investor or maybe go to the bank. What I'm talking about today as a business plan is a simple business plan, which is a simple document, which is something that makes us understand where we are, because business plan is not prepared for outsiders. Business plan is prepared for us. What is it that gives us an idea in terms of where we are and where we are going? So it is a financial visualization of your idea. So, my experience with business owners have been, when I meet them and I tell them, sir, how is the business going? So unka response aata hai, business is good. And generally you would find this response because entrepreneurs are, are optimistic. A lot of people, they would always be optimistic about the world outside. And I think that is the reason why they gone into business. Bole business theek hai. Other than COVID times, COVID mein sab log hil chuke the. But other than COVID times, you would say business kaisa hai sir? तो business तो बहुत ठीक है, अच्छा है. अगले साल क्या करोगे? और अगले साल grow करेंगे. Now how much do you think you will grow? There's a generally 20 to 30%, 40%. This is what we feel will be growing. So till this time we are all okay. Now when I ask them the next question, how will you grow by that 20-30%? That is when they either start thinking, or that is when they start giving answers which are very typical answers. So a desi entrepreneur, on the ground entrepreneur will tell me, sir, मेहनत करेंगे, काम करेंगे, grow हो जाएंगे. वाह sir, बहुत बढ़िया. And if it's a very polished entrepreneur, he would say that we have visions aligned, we have our team is aligned, and we all want to work together and we'll achieve. In both these answers, मेहनत करेंगे or our team is aligned, vision aligned, I didn't get the answer. 30% growth कैसे करोगे? Can somebody go on mute? Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. So ये सब में I never got the answer in terms of business grow कैसे होगा, because these are answers coming out of the heart. But what we as finance people understand is what comes out of the brain in terms of how is it that we will grow. So that's where a financial visualization of the idea comes in, that if I want to grow by 30%, 40%, 50%, this is how I will grow. And that is a financial visualization of my idea. Second is, so what we will do today is I will not do this like a PowerPoint presentation, right? So although I have this one slide, what we will do is after this one slide, we will try to go on to a Excel sheet, and we'll just try to work on some numbers and see how we are able to get onto a business plan. I would request two of my co-hosts to please help when somebody enters the room. Maybe sometimes they get unmuted. So if you could help to mute them when they enter, because that is the time they are also not aware that they are getting unmuted. Thank you. So so what we'll do is we'll do it like an exercise. I'll give you like an example कि ऐसे बनाते हम लोग business plan. I'll try to make it like a simple plan. But then what we can do is we can use that as a template, go back, work with our teams and try to create our own business plan. That's the whole idea. I don't want to make it like a gyan session कि business plan banana chahiye. It is how do we do it, right? But before that, it's important to understand why do we need a business plan. So we first, spoke about a financial visualization of an idea. Second is it is like a GPS or a roadmap. We are driving on a road and now we are so used to our Google Maps. First, we used to ask the neighborhood pan tapri wala ki ye jagah kahan hai. But now we are so used to the Google Map that we need our GPS and our maps to know where we are and where we are going. So our business plan is a document which actually is a GPS for us to tell, here we are, here we want to go, and this is the road. So that's how simple it is, and that is why we need a business plan. It's also, a clear communication and direction for everybody, right from the top, between the founders till the time, the team manages it. Because again, I'll tell you a practical example. We meet entrepreneurs. As I told you, they are, the most optimistic people, and that's why we like working with them. We tell them, sir, क्या करेंगे, कितना grow करेंगे? 40% grow करूँगा. तो क्यों? बस करना है इस बार. बहुत साल हो गए. Now we are at the right place. 40% तो करके ही रहूँगा. Brilliant. And when I'm talking to him, there are people around his, senior vice president, his, one down who are listening. बोलेंगे, yes sir, we are. बोले कर रहेंगे ना? वो लोग बोले हाँ sir कर पाएंगे. And then, I met them after a couple of months, and then, everybody reads the Economic Times. Everybody reads the Times of India. They read in first thing in the morning that ILFS has gone down. They read that, banks are struggling to give money. They read that inflation is going up. They read that the growth rate in India has come down. Then they start thinking, boss, itna problem hai bahar. तो मुझे 40% ग्रो होना है क्या? If people around are not growing and I am thinking of growing, is there something that's going to be a problem? तो वो उनके दिमाग में नेगेटिविटी आ जाती है, and they say, I think 20% is also enough, because our mind is a very is very fickle. Whatever we think right now, it only remembers the recent past. It does not remember a lot about what we had thought earlier. Our recent news or recent past that we know decides upon how what we think about our business. So if we are thinking about then you were 40%, now you are saying 20%. Now the same team person who was there with me in the room when we had spoken, now hears that you want to grow at 20%. Now this guy gets confused. बॉस करना क्या है? फोर्थ गियर पे गाड़ी चला रहे हैं, फिफ्थ पे चला रहे हैं कि सेकंड पे चला रहे हैं? मुझे टीम को भगाना है, मुझे टीम को रुकाना है, बिकॉज the communication that you do from the top reaches every last person in the organization. And if your communication keeps changing so often, everybody in the organization seems confused. So your business plan is a document which you give it in writing, which has the conviction and which also gives you flow. It tells that this is what we are going and this is what our assumptions are. And it's also like helping to steer your business. So, business is like a, flywheel. Flywheel यानी एक चीज से दूसरा चीज होता है, दूसरे से तीसरा होता है, तीसरे से चौथा होता है. जैसे मार्केटिंग में किसी ने मार्केटिंग किया तो सेल्स वाले को लीड मिला, सेल्स वाले ने लीड क्लोज किया तो प्रोडक्शन वाले को माल बनाने मिला, प्रोडक्शन वाले ने माल बनाया, उसने बेचा तो फाइनेंस वाले को पैसे मिले, फाइनेंस वाले को पैसे मिले तो उसने मार्केटिंग वाले को पैसे दिए, मार्केटिंग वाले को पैसे मिले तो उसने सेल्स लाए. सो दिस इज हाउ अ फ्लाईव्हील ऑफ अ बिजनेस वर्क्स. To make that flywheel of the business work, it is important that everybody in the organization who's part of the flywheel knows what is their role. And to give them that clarity of role, it is important that we have a correct business plan. So what we'll do is I'll stop my presentation here. We will start and make a small Excel sheet right now, and we'll see how we can make a business plan in a very simple manner. We don't have time for making a complex business model. Sometimes it takes days to make a business plan. But what we will do is in the next 15, 20, 25 minutes, if we can just brainstorm and try to bring out some idea in terms of how a business plan is created. This may not completely give you the idea to create your own business plan, or it may, but it will at least help you to go back and work with your team and come out with some ideas which may be helpful. The idea is that, once we are out of this webinar, we go out and create some document which will help us for the next financial year, which is 21-22. And we wanted to do this in February, so that we have the month of March with us, so that on 1st April, we are not planning. On 1st April, we are there to do the actions, right? So that's the whole idea. Everybody who is part of our CFO team of clients would know that from next month onwards, my team would be after them. Okay, let's have a business plan prepared, because they know that unless we have prepared it well, we wouldn't be able to achieve much. So it's like failing to plan is planning to fail. That's what we believe. So we have two beliefs. One is you need to plan well, and second is you need to measure well, because we believe that what can be measured can be improved. So we are people of numbers, and we feel everything can be measured. Efforts can be measured, outputs can be measured, and once we put that measurement into place, we see that results start coming in. So now let's get to an Excel sheet and start working on some numbers and see that how these numbers look like. So this is how sales this is a starting point, and for every starting point of just a minute, I've not shared my screen, right? Just a minute. Yeah, is my screen visible to everybody? Yes, will help. Yes, thank you. Okay, so this is the starting point. Starting point for every business is sales. Okay, right? So we get into business and we first question we have to say is what is my present sales. So my idea is that, let's take a number which is not very high, not very small. My sales in the present month is 3 crore rupees. Like मैंने आपको बोला, I will ask the entrepreneur same question. Sir, next year कितना grow करोगे? Most of the entrepreneurs optimistic बोलेंगे मैं 30% grow करूंगा. तो मैं बोलूंगा अगर 30% आपको ग्रो करना है तो आपका सेल्स हो जाएगा, एक मिनट, परसेंट डबल हो गया, हाँ, तो आपका सेल्स हो जाएगा 3 crore 90 lakh rupees. Right, so if you started with 3 crores and you want to grow by 30%, you are at 3 crore 90 lakh rupees. So abhi, that's where our fun starts. Like I told, 3 crore 90 lakh rupees कैसे करोगे? So that is where there is a pin drop silence, because there are so many thoughts in the mind. It is not that they don't have thoughts, but there are a lot of thoughts. And what we need to do is we need to collate that thoughts in a manner that can give us actionable points. So the first point to start with is find out how this 3 crore rupees was done last year, because unless we understand our present correctly, we are not able to plan for our future. Most of the time this is like a big box, in which you know कि मेरा 3 crore हुआ है, कितने कस्टमर ने कितना माल लिया, कौन सा माल लिया, this is sometimes not very clear. So you have a top line of 3 crores, but you sometimes don't know how that 3 crores came up to. So now easiest way to do is, let's first understand how did we come to this 3 crores. So say our client now has gone back to his drawing board and come back from accounts and come back with his numbers. So he says that I did product A, product B, product C, product D, and I have sold 5,000 units, 2,500 units, 1,500 units, and 3,000 units of all the products respectively. And my rate has been so, and so my value has come to 3 crore rupees. So that's great. So you have a breakup in terms of how your 3 crore came. Now, some clients may say, okay, my business is not so, I have 700 products which I sell. I have 500 products, because there are businesses which have a lot of small products. They are not able to quantify business in terms of product A, product B, product C. So you have an option. You may break up your sales into geographies. You may say that I have east, west, north, south as different geographies where I do sale. I have international, domestic as my sales verticals. This is how we'll have to look at business in terms of how we look at it. Sometimes it is even customer, the client will say that I am still not able to understand because I have different geographies, different products, lot of geographies. I am not able to capture the geography. Then the simple way to start is, how many customers did you serve last year? And from those customers, what is the average rate at which you sold? So average rate is total sales divided by average, the total number of customers you serve. So if you divide that, you will have an average. So that is the starting point for people who are telling, मुझे मैं प्रोडक्ट वाइज भी अपना सेल नहीं डिवाइड कर सकता हूँ, मैं ज्योग्राफी वाइज भी नहीं कर सकता हूँ, मैं ऑफिस वाइज, फैक्ट्री वाइज मैं कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता हूँ. If people are at that level where they say कि it is not possible for me to do all that, then a good starting point would be, look at the number of clients or customers you served last year, what is the total sales you did, and come to the average sales. Now this is the starting point. This our friend gave us this number that he's done 4 products and his total sales is 3 crores. Now I ask him, अच्छा बता मुझे कि अभी अगले साल क्या करेगा? Now to keep this simple, we will assume that the rates are not changing, क्योंकि the option to increase your sale is increase your rate or increase your quantity or increase your product or increase your customer. बहुत सारे option हैं. What we'll do is, for simplicity sake, what we'll say is कि उसका वो बोल रहा है कि मैं रेट तो मेरा मार्केट डिटरमाइन करता है, मैं रेट चेंज नहीं कर सकता. It is true for most of the businesses that your selling price is not in your control. Your selling price is determined by the market, while your cost is in your control. So now I ask my good friend, boss, product A, how much will you sell? And he will tell me, maybe 5,000 किया था, 5,500 कर दूंगा. Then I ask him, product B कितना सेल करेगा? He is telling me, last time 2,500 किया था, इस बार I'll do 3,000. Okay, 3,000. Product C कितना करेगा? अरे 1,500 किया था last time. This is a product which is in great demand. I will double this, so I'll do 3,000. Okay, 3,000 कर देगा. And then product D कितना करेगा? So he'll tell, this is a product where we have already saturated. It's a very expensive product, so I don't see a lot of growth there. ठीक है. So what do you think? Will it sustain, degrow little bit? So he'll tell no. For my assumption sake, I'll feel that if even I am able to do the same number if I did in product, I'll be happy. बोला ओके ठीक है, तेरा 3,500 ले लेते हैं. तो भाई ये नंबर तो तेरा आ गया 3.5 करोड़. तूने तो मुझे प्रॉमिस किया था 30% ग्रोथ, तो 3 करोड़ 90 लाख होगा कैसे? तो ही थिंक्स एंड ही सेज कि हाँ मेरा एक प्रोडक्ट है, वारंटी में था, एंड आई एम गोइंग टू बी लॉन्चिंग इट नेक्स्ट ईयर. ओके दैट्स गुड. सो व्हाट इज दैट प्रोडक्ट? सो ही सेज दैट प्रोडक्ट इज कॉल्ड प्रोडक्ट टी. दैट्स ग्रेट, वी हैव अ न्यू प्रोडक्ट एडेड. ओके नाउ व्हाट इज द प्राइस ऑफ प्रोडक्ट टी? सो ही इज सेलिंग 2,000 रुपए का प्रोडक्ट है. ये भी बढ़िया है. तो मैंने कहा कितना बेचेगा? तो उसने अपने दिमाग में गणित लगाया, 40 लाख रुपए कम है. बोले सर मैं 2,000 बेचूंगा. मैंने कहा बहुत बढ़िया. So if you are selling 20,000 rupees, 2,000 units of 2,000, you are at 3 crore 90 lakh rupees. Brilliant. तो अपना तो ये प्लान हो गया. We wanted to move from 3 crore to 3 crore 90 lakh rupees. So here we are. So do you think our business plan is complete? Now we have an idea that we want to sell 5,500 of product A, we want to sell 3,000 of product B, we want to sell 3,000 of product C, we want to add a new product line up to a product E, while we want to keep product D constant. So चलो इतनी क्लैरिटी मिल गई. अभी तो बिजनेस प्लान हो गया, सब लोग बोल रहे हैं. नाउ वी नो व्हाट वी नीड टू डू. तो आर जनरली आर आंसर टू देम इज बॉस पिक्चर अभी बाकी है, ये तो शुरुआत है. नाउ यू नो व्हाट यू वांट टू डू, बट नाउ यू नीड टू नो how you will get there, right? So the fun starts now. So let's get into a glimpse of the fun. Okay, I'll just give you a small glimpse कि ये मजा शुरू कैसे होता है. Now you know कि मुझे ये करना है. So all of you all who are entrepreneurs and business owners know how a business how a sales life cycle works. There is something which we call as lead. यानी मुझे किसी ने बोला कि भाई उस आदमी को तेरे प्रोडक्ट की जरूरत है, तो जाके तू उनको मिल ले. सो नॉट गेटिंग इनटू क्वालिफाइड एंड अनक्वालिफाइड लीड, वो लीड है, यानी उसको मुझसे मेरे बिजनेस से रिलेटेड काम है. सो ही इज कॉल्ड माय लीड. सो यू हैव अ लीड एंड देन you write to the lead or you call him and you say that Mr. Sameer Arora told me that you have a requirement of so and so product, can you meet me? So chances are that he may meet you, chances are that he may not meet you. He may tell you nahi I have somebody whom I have already been dealing with, but thank you for calling, I'll keep you in mind. So you had a lead, and if he agrees, अरे समीर ने बोला है तो एक बार मिल ही लेता हूँ, then you have a meeting. So from lead to a meeting, and you go out and meet him, and then from a meeting you are either able to impress him with your product and with your knowledge, or just a minute, meeting है बड़ी हो गई, or you are not able to impress him, maybe because his expectation was different, maybe we are not in that department, or maybe our vibes did not meet. But assuming that our vibes met and we are in the same level, business, and that is what he wanted, he will tell what is it that he is going to tell. He's tell, I like you as a person, I like your company, why don't you send me a quotation or a proposal? So now the next stage for a business is to send a proposal or a quotation. In our field we call it proposal. In a lot of businesses we call it estimate, pro forma invoice, or a quotation. Now we have sent a quotation. He's met 4 people like me, and he liked 3 of them, and he's told everybody give you a proposal. Now everybody in business knows what this is: L1, L2, the lowest one, and based on the quality that you're offering and the price, he may want to work with you. Assuming that my quality and my price is best, it turns into a sale. So this is how my sale happens, right? So assuming that I get 1,000 leads in a month, in a year, and 50% of those leads convert into a meeting, so I get 500 meetings. So I get 500 meetings. 500 meetings में 50% of the time I am able to convince that client, and 50% not. So proposal मेरा 250 का जाता है. 50% of the people whom I meet take my proposal or quotation. Out of the people whom I send my proposal or quotation, 50% of the time I am able to win that order. So it is 125. I'm just trying to make this a little simple. ज़्यादा complex नहीं कर रहे हैं. So out of 1,000 people whom I had known that they required my product, you know, I was able to sell to 125 people. So next question that I have to ask my client is, तो average माल कितने का बेचता है कस्टमर को? You know, average sale price. क्योंकि यू में भी सेलिंग किसी को 10 लाख का माल बेचता होगा, किसी को 1 लाख का बेचता होगा, किसी को 50,000 का बेचता होगा. What is the average? You know, you can assume is that maybe around 2,50,000 is the average that a customer buys from me. This is out of my book that I'm saying. So मैं बोला अगर 125 लोगों को तू सेल कर रहा है और 2,50,000 करता है, अरे ये तो 3,12,50,000 हो गया. हमने तो सेल 3 करोड़ ही किया है. तो एवरेज को थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे कर देते हैं, so that we are near to our actual situation. So here we are. So we are near to our actual situation that for doing a sales of 3 crore rupees, we had to generate a lead of 1,000 people. We had to meet 500 of them, give proposal to 250, close sales of 125 with an average ticket size of 2,40,000 rupees. And that's how I did my 3 crores. Now I have to do 3 crore 90 lakh rupees. So अभी मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? You know, if this is the process that I have to follow, so I understand basic maths है, 30% सेल बढ़ा है और everything is at 50%, तो मुझे सब कुछ 30% शायद बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. तो मैं इसको मल्टीप्लाई करके देखता हूँ कि 1300 लीड्स शायद मुझे लगेगी. 1300 लीड्स में कन्वर्ट टू 650 मीटिंग्स. Just a minute. 650 meetings, 650 divided by 2, so this will be 325. What percentage ज़्यादा आ रहा है? 325 quotations. From 325 quotations, if I get 162.5 sales, we'll ignore the decimal, and assuming my average ticket size remains same. आप ये देख सकते हैं कि I have a place to play it everywhere. मतलब मैं चाहूँ तो मेरा average sale बढ़ा दूँ तो वैसे भी मेरा sale बढ़ जाएगा. But you know, that's how I will do 3 crore 90 lakh rupees. By doing a simple exercise like this, wherein I just looked into how I got my sales, what sales I did, and how I got that, this gives me a lot of insight in terms of what I need to do in my next year. You know, the action points that we can derive out of this is huge. So what we do is we create something which call as a business dashboard, business plan dashboard. We try to create a one-pager dashboard which the business owner understands कि मुझे ये 4-5 चीज करनी है साल में, right? तो ये 4-5 चीज अगर मैं वहां पे जा रहा हूँ तो I am on the right place. So while I have been talking to you and I have been putting these numbers, I have requested one of my colleagues to just try to create some action points out of what we are discussing. So पहला action point लेते हैं, ठीक है? ये तो सबको पता है कि सबसे पहला action point किसके लिए है? Sales team के लिए. आपको क्या करना है? You have to increase sales by 90 lakh rupees. That is the biggest action point that we have come, and which is the most apparent action point that comes out of this exercise. Second action point हम लोग करते हैं वो है marketing team के लिए. Marketing team की responsibility है कि वो मुझे 1300 leads लाके दे. Because if my marketing team is not able to get 1300 leads for me, I will never be able to do 650 meetings, and I would never be able to reach 3 crore 90 lakh rupees. So now there is one more department who knows what the responsibility is, and they need to know that they have to do anything. They need to do social media, they need to do mailers, they need to have conferences, they need to do cold calls, they need to take referral from existing customer, whatever they want to do. But they need to get 1300 leads for the sales team. Unless they are able to do that, my business will not be able to generate the 30% growth that I assume. हम लोग ये सब एक्सरसाइज नहीं करते हैं और हमको लगता है कि मैंने बोल दिया कि मैं 30% ग्रो करूंगा तो शायद ग्रो हो जाएगा. बट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट देयर इज अ साइंस बिहाइंड दिस ग्रोथ, एंड वी नीड टू नो दैट साइंस in simple terms. It is not rocket science. It is only that we need to have the awareness to know about this science, that what is it that we need to do. So we have found that first action point is for the marketing team that they need to have 1300 leads. What is some other action point that we can think of? ठीक है, एक और एक्शन पॉइंट जो मुझे दिखता है वो है HR टीम के लिए. HR is our people team who help in recruitment and all that. Let's make some assumption. Our assumption is that अगर मैं 500 meetings करता हूँ and my sales people are the people who are doing the meetings, then assuming that one salesperson is doing 50 meetings, I have 10 salespeople on my roll, right? Now, if I have 10 salespeople and they're able to do 500 meetings, and if I have to do 650 meetings, my HR needs to recruit 3 more salespeople, right? Because I cannot expect that the additional number of leads will be taken care by the same salespeople. There may be chances that they could be taken care, but my planning needs to be that boss काम बढ़ने वाला है तो लोग लगेंगे. And we are just trying to make it very simple. लोग बहुत जगह पे लगते हैं. You know, यार marketing team में भी लोग लगते हैं बहुत सारे, क्योंकि जब business बढ़ता है तो there are different areas which may require team. Apparently, from this simple example that we have, our HR will need to have 3 more sales people in the year, and that's how they will support us in achieving this target. So marketing gets 1300 leads, HR brings 3 more sales people, so we are able to do the meetings and we are able to send proposals. Now what else? You know, business is all about money, right? That's what we say. Paisa chahiye. You know, money is the diesel and petrol or the fuel for all businesses, at least for businesses which are scaling up pretty fast. So let's do a working capital requirement, right? Working capital लगता है हर business करने के लिए. Working capital in simple terms is debtors, which is our receivables, and it is inventory, which is our stock that we need to be keeping. Yeah, for service people, inventory may not be there, but receivable is the universal thing that everybody is never paid when they issue the invoice. So assuming that our creditor remains the same while we are increasing the business, we are telling that only the debtors and inventory is what will go up. My debtors or my receivables have been 90 days. यानी लोग मुझे 3 महीने में पैसा दे देते हैं. So at every point of time in my earlier year, I used to have 75 lakh worth of debtors. Now, assuming that it is still 90 days and I have 3 crore 90 lakhs of sales, my debtors would go up to 97 lakh 50,000. और इसको हम लोग मैथ्स करें, so my requirement of money that gets blocked in the debtors is 22 lakh 50,000 rupees. Now this is something that most of the businesses miss. They don't understand that as you are growing business, your working capital requirement is going to go up. So have you planned for it, right? So it's important that as much as we are planning for our growth, we should also plan for our working capital. Another thing is inventory. So you want to ensure that you are giving goods in time, because in today's scenario, if a customer wants something, he will not wait for a long time unless it's a complex manufacturing process and it's a capital intensive capital goods and you take some time to manufacture it. Otherwise, a customer would want and say, I want this product. You say, I don't have it in my stock. He will go to the competitor of yours. So assuming that we used to have 2 months of stock, 2 months of sale as stocks, which a lot of businesses have, I used to have 50 lakh worth of stock with me. And now what is it that I will need to have? At 3 crore 90 lakhs. I will need to have, some mistake here, is 65 lakh worth of inventories or stock as we call. So what is the additional money that would get blocked in my stock is 15 lakh rupees. So technically, I will need more money to grow this business, and that excess money that I would be needing is going to be 37 lakh 50,000 rupees, right? So this is the kind of money that I may be needing. अभी आप जाओ और फाइनेंस वाले को बोलो कि बॉस मेरे को बिजनेस बढ़ाना है, can you arrange for this additional 37 lakh 50,000 funds, which my business will be needing if I am going to be growing by 30%? Are the bankers ready to fund this? Do we have enough internal accruals to fund this? Or what is the plan to do it? We don't want to get into a situation which a lot of businesses do, that they have got sales in hand, but they don't have money to execute the sales. So that's where it's very important that our finance team also knows, okay, boss, this is what is expected from you. Our HR team knows this is what is expected from you. And our marketing team knows what is expected. This is what is expected. And anyways, एक product launch करना है, so whatever comes behind that needs to be done for that. So what I have done is in the 15-20 minutes that I have tried to explain this to you, I have just tried to show that how one thing in business leads to another. And when we are planning our business, we need to see how we are planning it so that each department or each business function knows their roles and responsibilities in terms of how do we want to do it. So I'll just share. I'll see. So Rane, while we were speaking, could you create the dashboard? If yes, then we can show it to everybody in terms of how a dashboard would look, visually when we have completed a business plan. Are you able to? Could you do it, Rane? I think Rane, are you on the call? Okay. So while Rane comes on the call, I had asked him that we would do an exercise of creating. Okay, Rane. So can you share a dashboard if you could prepare it? You are not a co-host. I will just make you a co-host. Just a minute, guys. Yeah. Yes, Rane. So if you could prepare it while we were speaking, maybe you could show it to all of us so that we have some visual idea in terms of how a dashboard would look like for an entrepreneur while he is preparing a business plan.
Yes,
are you able to share? Yeah, are you able to share?
Yes, I will do it right now. I have been able to prepare this dashboard.
Sure, please do it.
Okay. So here is the dashboard.
Yeah, can you make it full screen, or is it full screen? Because we are not able to see it full screen, or maybe just increase the size a little bit. Yeah, better. Just scroll it a little down. Yeah, brilliant. I think whatever we spoke, you have captured it well. So this is how our dashboard would look like, once we have done our business plan, wherein for a business entrepreneur we exactly know what is needed from each. So this is a very simple way by which we have created. I am sure no business can have such a simplified dashboard. You will have 10 points coming under each of the heads. But a simplified version of this looks like, the research and innovation plan. We need to launch one new product, the product T. Generally, it's the entrepreneur. At small and medium enterprises, we generally don't have a research and innovation wing or design team. If it is there, it is generally headed by the entrepreneur or the business owner. So he has to ensure that he gets the new product in, and he has to get the new product in speed. He cannot be starting the year in April and saying कि मेरा product आएगा, and by the time he launches the product, it becomes October. You have lost half the year, and you had already planned कि मैं 2,000 unit बेचूंगा. And then it's a lot of chances that you may not be able to sell it in time. So it's important that timely you are able to launch that product. Marketing team knows that they need to generate 1,300 new leads. Sales team, they are the people who are at the forefront. They know that they need to get 90 lakh more of sale, and we have given them a plan. You have to sell more of A, B, C, D, E, and this is how you will do it. And we are telling them you will be helped by the marketing team to get the leads. Finance team, we have told them that you need to have additional funds of 13,750,000, and we have given a HR plan to the recruitment as well, that we need 3 new salespeople. So this is how a dashboard graphically would look like. Our leads last time were 1,000. We need to move it to 1,300, and our sales turnover was 3 crores, and we would want to move it to 3 crore 90 lakhs. So, our eyes are able to see what we see in one synopsis, So this is a brilliant synopsis that helps. You could create it on and put it on the top of your table to see it every day, every week, every month, so that, it's completely refreshed in your mind. So this is about the dashboard. So what I would do is I would just want to summarize what I have spoken, so that there is a proper takeaway for everybody, and then I will keep it open for question and answers if there are any. So I will go back to my PowerPoint. Yeah. So this is the summary of what we need to do. This is the action point. You understand your present sales and your present financials. Unless you know where you are standing presently, you will never know where you want to go. The more depth you have about your present sales, the better you will be able to project. It is also financial. See, we have not touched the entire financial system in terms of gross margin, in terms of fixed cost. I didn't want to complicate things. But when we are doing a proper business plan, we have to ensure that our gross margins are maintained or improved, our fixed cost remains the same or reduced. So there are a lot of other things that comes in. So, but it is important that we understand our sales and financials best. Our plan our sales target for the next year. That's what we did, and plan it customer wise, product wise, geography wise, whatever area you feel you will be able to plan it well. List action items for achieving those sales. So we need to have action items clearly written down. Business is a collective game. The CEO, the business owner cannot play this alone. So, when you are playing a collective game, you need to have action points in terms of who is responsible for what item of the game. Plan actions for all areas. What is it that marketing needs to do? What is it that if marketing is done, we know that, marketing, you have done the thing that was expected from you to achieve our business plan. Finance, what is it finance that we expected you to do and you have done it right? HR and operations in addition to the sales. So the action points should be given to all departments so that everybody is aligned. The importance is alignment. Everybody needs to be aligned and held responsible, accountable, and rewarded for the business growth. Break down the actionables into monthly goals. It is of no use if we are just creating a vision document कि मैं साल में ये करूँगा. That has no value. It has to be broken down on a monthly basis because, again, if you don't review it, you will never be able to do it. So what should be done on a monthly basis? You need to review. We had thought कि हम लोग को marketing 1300 लीड के हिसाब से 110 लीड लाके देने वाला था. क्या वो 110 लाया? नहीं लाया. मार्केटिंग क्या प्रॉब्लम है? फाइनेंस, तू पैसा ला रहा है, नहीं ला रहा है. HR कहाँ है? Every month, those action points need to be reviewed and seen, and things need to be measured in terms of what somebody was planning to do. We can plan that कि तू कितना meetings करके कितना sale किया. Average value of order मेरा 2,40,000 meet हो गया नहीं. So measure and then improve. If this gets into a continuous process that every month we are able to review, measure, and improve, there is nothing that can stop you from achieving those goals. The biggest problem we face is that we are not able to first set our plan right, and after we have set the plan right, we are not able to review it on a monthly basis. We always say our clients, one day a month, you give that time to us so that we can sit with you to look upon to your business from the top. That's when you need to know कि हमको क्या करना था, क्या हुआ, क्यों नहीं हुआ, क्या better हुआ. If something has gone well, then we actually need to do better of it next month. So that's in summary about business plan, why is it important and how you need to create it. People who are our clients, we are always there to help. People who are not our clients, please reach out to us for any help. We would like to help anybody because our idea is that in the SME, MSME space, there is a lot of need for education. That's the reason we started this initiative, that we want people to be educated about best business practices. Because there are brilliant products, there are brilliant entrepreneurs selling those products and services, but there is a lack of knowledge to scale the business to a level that it can be scaled. So thank you everybody for joining in and listening to me patiently. And if you have any questions, I am available here to answer them.